Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-splaining the Interwebs. I am your host. Emphasis on the ho, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Stan, how are you today? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are really doing okay after being dressed down very seriously by the President of the United States of America. He's not playing anymore, guys. He is apparently like an angry dad or something, because I know that that's how I talk to my kids when I'm angry. We're going to talk about that a little later. We've got, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on. And wait, what? Promote the Alex Jones interview tomorrow. Alex Jones going on Friday Night Tights? That's amazing. That's amazing. Anyway, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. Obviously, the big news of the day is President Biden implementing third world tyranny measures, full on government mandates. Like we just don't even get to pretend anymore about things like freedom. Things that, by the way, one of the opponents early this year, late last year, of vaccine mandates was Joe Biden. The other opponent of vaccine mandates, late last year, early this year, is Nancy Pelosi. Both of them opposed to vaccine and mask mandates. Can't do it. They're opposed to them. I mean, they're all for them now. But, they're opposed to them before. That's the way hypocrisy goes. That's the way hypocrisy goes in the new world order. Okay, let me get this out of the way for the first time tonight and the 100 times that will follow. No, there is no Vic Mignogna news. If there were Vic news, guys, it would be in the title of the video. It would be the first thing I would talk about as we get started. You will know. I'm waiting. We're coming up on a year since they accepted it. And let me, I have long been quiet on this thing. I said a long time ago, I really don't want to pump any sort of expectations. I don't want to build hype about the ruling. I really don't, because I don't want people to be bummed out if things don't go the way that we hope that they go and all of that stuff. But my God, if they take this long and have just a basic bitch ruling blanking Vic on everything, I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is. I'm starting to think that they have a very complicated opinion, and they have a couple 2-to-1 splits on maybe multiple issues in the case. And I don't know. It's been a very long time, and it seems like this would be relatively straightforward, maybe one way or another. I mean, the way Law Twitter sold it, this is the easiest case ever, obviously frivolous. And so you'd think that the appeal wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I don't know. It could still be a simple ruling. We don't know what is causing the particular hang up on this one. And their rules are just guidelines, and there's no way to know anything or read anything out of those rules, but their rules would normally allow 6 months to write the draft opinion. And then they would allow 3 additional months for like a dissenting opinion to be written. And so the inference you would take is that if something is taking 9 months, then there might be a dissenting opinion involved. But again, those are just guidelines. There's nothing that, there's no enforcement mechanism. There's no one that says, okay, appeals court, you haven't ruled yet. You need to get your butts in order. There's nothing like that. But, we'll see. We'll see. I'm like, anytime hope kind of creeps up into the, into my chest from the depths of my bowels, and hope like comes up into my chest, and I'm like, nope. And I stab it, and I twist, and then I spit on it, and I shove it back down. So, but I don't know, every week, just waiting. Would it be possible for them to just nope out and not rule for years? I mean, theoretically, yeah, nothing going to stop them because they can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's going to stop them now. You're sure COVID destroyed the timeline? I am too, right? Like COVID makes a big deal. But I mean, again, here's their released orders and opinions. Okay. For today. We'll refresh it and make sure we have the newest stuff. Sometimes like 1 or 2 cases trickle in a little bit after the initial ones. Like when I first pulled it up, it just had these top 4, and then this last one loaded in about 40 seconds later. But these are the civil causes. This one's from 2020. I can check it in a minute. These are all from 2021. So, I mean, I know COVID messed with the timeline, but these are all from 2021. This one is from, this was filed October of 2020. So this would be filed 20 days after Vic's appeal was submitted. Remember that Vic's appeal was filed back in March? No, last year. Last year. So this one, they filed they filed their appeal on October 12th. What the hell is happening? Yeah, let's see. It was submitted on April 20th of this year. For reference to what that means, that's when the court takes it under advisement as a case, and they did that in Vic's case on September 22nd of last year. So, I mean, again, with COVID, you never know what's going on. However, this case was filed after Vic's case was accepted by the court. By 20 days later, it was accepted by the court in April of this year. Like this one, submitted June 29th. Now, these could be really simple issues. Vic's case had, I think, 8 different appeal points. That makes for some complicated briefing. There are, 4 major parties to the case. That makes for complicated briefing as well. That could be taken part of it. Oh, these 2 are CHUP cases. Motion or writ denied. Motion for emergency relief. So they asked for what? A mandamus against CHUP? We got to look at it now. What's up, Attorney Tom? How you doing, buddy? Hey, you left, I think, earlier today, but I was pimping your law firm. You dirty hoe. Better pay up. You better pay up. I don't care how many tricks you can't get right now. You better pay and get my money. Believe that. So what is this? This is petition for immediate writ of injunction, emergency motion for temporary relief, pending determination of petition for written injunction. Okay. They're denied. It's all denied. Okay, who cares? Anyway, so yeah, my point in all this is just we don't know what's going on with the timeline, but it's frustrating as shit. Yeah, I'm trying to send you some business. Some guy said, I wish Nick was trained in Napoleonic law because I got an issue in Louisiana. And I'm like, hey, I happen to know a guy, right? I happen to know a guy. I don't know if it was related to Hurricane Ida. I don't know. I don't know. But I told him to call you. And then I told everybody on earth to call you, whether they have a legal thing or not. Shut down the phones. Shut it down. But yeah, you missed it. Attorney Tom lied and my heart died. Okay. So next, what do we got today? So the other day I did a video on the story of Kiwi Farms and Melinda Scott's failed lawsuit against Jersh, the chief Janny of the Kiwi Farms. Well, and as you know, he won. It was dismissed with prejudice, and the judge was not pleased and not impressed with Melinda Scott's filings, calling them multiple meritless filings or whatever exact statement he used. I don't remember. We'll see it in a minute. Melinda Scott thought it wise after that to go ahead and appeal the decision. She has gone ahead and filed her notice of appeal to the federal appellate courts. And now Josh's attorney has filed a motion for an extension of time to file his motion for fees against Melinda. And, I think it kind of looked like they were going to just let it go. But if she is insisting on increasing the cost of litigation by filing a meritless appeal to a meritless lawsuit, then they are going to push for fees, it seems. And, we'll see what the judge says on that one. The judge did not seem happy with Melinda's behavior in the case. Probably doesn't help that she called him a sexist and said that he was ruling against her because he's a man who hates women. Not, again, the best approach to take on a judge who controls the fate of your lawsuit, but that's what she did in a filing, and the judge, didn't seem to have any of it. The interesting thing is that was the last day of active judgeship for the judge. He's now in a semi-retired state as a senior judge. So it'll be interesting to see. I assume he's still working. And if he decides to manage a caseload, he'll be able to continue ruling on this case. But we're going to look at the request from Josh's attorney. Melinda's appeal, her appeal memorandum is not filed yet, right? Like, she has just filed a notice of appeal, a notice to the court that she will be appealing the decision. There's a rule that requires you to provide the court notice of that. And then that's what she has filed. Her appeal memorandum, as far as I know, has not actually been filed. So we'll have to wait for that brilliant document that is sure to come from Melinda Scott. But for now, it's not going to be available, we'll say. Oh, and guys, I did not mention this earlier, but or I kind of mentioned this earlier. I have been up since 7 a.m. and I am exhausted. It is great. So we'll see how long today goes. I did the show for Biden's very important, very smart speech. I did that show. Let's see. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Everything happened. New stuff happened today in this case. In Josh's case, we've got, oh no, this is not good for Melinda. This is not good for Melinda at all. Oh my goodness. The judge granted the extension. So we've got some extra stuff. So we'll be spending some time on this thing today. That'll be fun. I don't know if we're going to get to the EVS versus and DA Talks versus Peggy Poulter today, because I have some other stuff to talk about. And Spectre thinks that he should maybe come on to talk about, I don't know why, but Spectre wants to come on. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. But I thought maybe it'd be interesting to bring him on for a segment, but I don't have today set up for a guest. I'm liking using StreamYard for guests. It makes everything so much easier, but you can't set up a stream for YouTube and then try and connect StreamYard to an existing stream that's been set up for YouTube. You have to set it up in StreamYard, which I didn't do. I set it up through YouTube, so I can't. I would have had to delete the stream and start a new one, and that wasn't very happy. So, we'll see. OBS proper. Not stream. Spectre, I regret everything nice I've ever said about you. I'm not talking about Streamlabs OBS. I'm talking about StreamYard, which is different. Yeah, StreamYard is not Streamlabs. And OBS and Streamlabs OBS are not great for guests. I mean, I can bring on a guest with it, but it doesn't make sharing very easy. And so anyway, I've never said anything nice about Spectre. Well, I get to go on with never retracting a statement then. There you go. Real quick, tomorrow, Ty Beard will be joining me, and we may have another guest tomorrow. We may have another guest, but I have to get confirmation on it. But Ty Beard will be joining me. He owes me $5. I'm supposed to do something. So, Ty is down at a locale. He's down, or was. I don't know if he still is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know who this Ty guy is. Ty was at a location and ran into someone from the chat. Just randomly. What was it? Hold on. Got his name here. Not his full name. Just want to make sure I get it right. I got to give him a shout out. Kyle. Ty ran into Kyle. Ty's out there. Seen Kyle? He's out looking for Kyle. He runs into a guy named Kyle, happens to be a fan of the show, And yeah, and so very cool to have that, Ty's running into more people from this show than I do. Not Kyle Rittenhouse, just a different, just a Kyle and Kyle. But anyway, so that was kind of a fun thing for Ty, I think. Apparently there were nice cigars involved, which always sounds good. I would never tell anyone I know you. Oh, you so sweet. How tall is Kyle? About this tall? Wait, is it this tall? Is he about this tall, I think? I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Yes, Alex Jones will be on Friday Night Tights. That's crazy. That's fantastic. That's good stuff. God, I wonder if he'd come on this show. I just want him to tell me about the globalists. I'm just kidding. I make meme jokes. I don't watch or listen to Alex Jones. Never really have, but I like him because he is the barometer. Like, he is the canary in the coal mine. And he's a fascinating guy, fascinating entertainer. I would love to talk to him. Because the best part about Alex Jones is, like, I don't know that you'd ever have to prepare anything, because you just got to get him talking about anything, and then you can just sit and watch. It's like, yeah, talk to me, Alex. Tell me all about it. But we're the interdimensional space elves. Literal potbelly vampire goblins. Yeah, no, I love it. He's fantastic. And I would love to talk to him. Maybe someday we'll make it happen. Anyway, okay. We've got some super chats that have come in, and I want to hit those, and then we will get. Did Windows do a new gesture control? Can you stop? Can you just make me click stuff? Windows has a new, I don't know, I guess if you, like, wave your mouse over the tabs, or if I guess if I just hold the mouse over the tabs on Chrome now, it gets rid of my other window, which is, it brings this window to the front. I don't want that. Stop it. Gosh, these freaking communists. Okay. Let's do these early super chats, and then we'll get into this Melinda Scott story. I have some other stuff too. I have stuff for you guys. I got funny stuff. I got crappy stuff. I got cuck stuff. I got all kinds of stuff. I'm like a guy in a trench coat in New York who, like, comes up to you and he's opening up your trench coat, and you're like, oh God, there's going to be like a tiny hairy dick. And no, it's just a bunch of silverware and other stuff that they stole that you can buy. I'm like the good guy with the trench coat that's also a bad guy. So I've got some of that to go through. Kate 4394 says, I think I figured it out. We can just identify as someone who has been vaccinated. Love the show, Rackets. Sorry I've been gone. My job forces me to go to bed at a reasonable time. I'll have to catch the replay tomorrow. Well, hopefully there will be more daytime shows coming either on here or on Twitch in the near future. So that is something that is moving forward. And hopefully I can get that up and running quickly, because I know, look, the show audience changes, and there were people who had a lot of time to be up late at night, and now there are less people up late at night because they had to start going to bed for whatever reason, and there are a lot of people who would love to watch the live shows, but they can't be up so late. That does not mean I'm canceling the late night show. I've said for a very long time, the late night show is the show. I want to add, not replace. So we're going to be doing, that's the thing, adding some daytime streams either here or on Twitch in the near future as that develops. So, okay, Wolfgang Deo says, I see online I am no longer in maths, but still in other courses at university. Looks like I won. I don't check emails, so I'll know on Monday. You won by getting kicked out of the class, or what? Is that what you're saying? I don't know what. I'm not following. Patrick McHugh with Gerard Butler's profile picture. Update. I've been in the walls so long I have become Spider-Man. I'll be making an appearance in Spider-Man when Peter is revealed to be gay and black. Okay. Sounds good. Bad Vibe says Ricada is officially there's an accent. It's Retar-ed. Retar-ed. I don't know how that's pronounced, but there's RE_TAR-ED. So there you go. Attorney Tom asks if I have any plans to add any ligma to the show, but no, I don't. But you can add some of these to yours. That's right. Wolfgang Deo says late and happy. Very, very happy. Jason Schreiner says chipping in a bit. If you're out on Saturday, break some clays or buy a raffle ticket on me or use this for whatever. I need to go buy my shotgun. I need to do that. And that is something that I need to do really soon because I got to get the shotgun. I've got the shell. I got 500 shells, I think, the other day. So I got the shells. I just need the boomstick, and then I need the clays and the thrower, the trap thrower. I always thought a trap thrower was like a large Australian man who would throw Blair White, like the Foster's commercial guy. But no, turns out Australia probably would just fondle Blair White. Tet says, do you know a Social Security lawyer around Washington State? I do not. I could tell you, I do not personally know anyone like that. Mom has been getting half the Social Security everyone else gets. There was a lawyer here who helped others by comparing similar recipients and got back pay, but moved to Florida. Did you check with that lawyer? Because they may still be licensed and may be able to do that remotely. Gosh, I'm thirsty. Thirsty like an e-thought. Blaine 20 says, Melinda, dismiss me harder, big judge daddy, without prejudice. Oh, you big tease. No, it was with prejudice. He dismissed her with prejudice, and she liked it. Attorney Tom says, this is definitely legal advice. Social Security disability is federal. You can hire anywhere. So there you go. He said that is definitely 100% legal advice, and you can quote him on it, and you can actually send it to the government that Attorney Tom told you that not only can you hire anywhere, but anyone will win your case guaranteed. He said that too. Just so you know. I don't know why he typed all that. It's a really long message. He also said he would pro bono represent the entire chat. Mr. Bentham says, hold up. So you're saying it's a bad idea to call the judge who's ruling over your case a sexist? Can we get Law Twitter on this for a second opinion? You'll get 86 opinions. 86 opinions from almost lawyers. Loric Project says, hey, Nick, just got a new job in a factory. I got the swing shift, though, so I'll have to catch you in the mornings now. Oh, well, we will miss you at night, Loric Project. But the good thing about the swing shift is you get to bang everybody else in the factory. So that's good. I hope you enjoy that. By law, you get that. Okay. What are we doing? That's the start of it. Only Popat's opinion matters. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's get this Let's get this Melinda Scott stuff up, okay? So let's see. We'll pull up the motion for the extension of time. Why are you not opening? Why is it not work? There we go. I should have just taken this from the Kiwi farms rather than buying it just now, but I pay enough money to Pacer every month anyway. Oh yeah, so I was saying earlier, guys, I had a court hearing today. I had a court hearing at 10 o'clock, but I had to take my kid somewhere at 8. So I was up at 7. God, what a long day that is. What a long day. Nicholas Benoit. Yes, my name is Nick. Nick Requeda of Requeda Law. That is correct. And the court hearing was fun. It was actually pretty basic. It was a plea hearing in a case that I've had for a while now, but due to COVID got extremely delayed. So, you know, we had a plea hearing, and now I get to prepare for sentencing in a month and a half or so, which will be tons of fun. Lots of things to do for that. But that case has been looming over my head, which is the most important as a narcissist, but over my client's head for 2 years. It's been a lot of, whatchamacallit, just a lot of waiting, and that stress gets to people. I can't stress that enough. Like, closing the courts for COVID, the people who were actually in jail and got stuck there because they couldn't make bail or whatever, it's a tremendous injustice to the people waiting for trial in that respect. It is a much less injustice, but it is still really stressful for people who are awaiting trial outside of jail. You know, for whatever reason. Some of them have release conditions like drug tests and stuff that they have to do. Other ones just have to deal with a boatload of anxiety and this looming threat. I mean, you are labeled an accused criminal in your communities, to people who know you. It tends to get reported somewhere and someone's going to see it. You know, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for people to go through. And I think that's kind of one of the unspoken injustices of all the lockdowns. I mean, we've got a lot of spoken injustices. A lot of people are out talking about, you know, the mandates and stuff like that. You know, you hear me talk about that, of course, but you know, this is one, and it goes back to the discussion I was having with Nate on Twitter about the presumption of innocence. I don't think someone who's been in jail for a year because of COVID lockdowns waiting for trial feels presumed innocent. I don't think that is a presumption that person has. I don't think this country anymore gives you a presumption of innocence. I think it's an illusion. It's a nice back pat we tell ourselves that our Justice Department is tough on. You can't be tough on crime and still presume innocence. It doesn't work. That's it. We don't have a legal system that presumes that innocence in any practical sense anymore. Is there something on my face? It's a giant nose. I don't think there's anything else. But we don't have that. And the people who are accused of crimes, I can tell you, talking to them, working with them, working on their cases, as rarely as possible now, but they don't feel innocent. They don't feel like the judge thinks they're innocent. They don't feel like the prosecutors are treating them like they're innocent. They don't feel like the media represents them as innocent. None of them do. Where's the top to this thing? looking for a top, and the closest I can find is Kamala Harris. Stegus says, it was mentioned in Discord earlier by Elb, but I thought it should be mentioned here too. Michael Long's mother has a new GoFundMe up, and they need money for the appeal. If people can afford to donate, they would really appreciate it. So Michael Long has a GoFundMe up, and people should check that out if they want to support Michael Long. That is something they can do there. I know some people were asking me where to do that, but that thing has gone crazy. Michael Long, I haven't covered this yet. Just busy. I wanted to cover it, but he had a hearing the other day. He did not attend that hearing. It was a virtual hearing. However, I have some reason to believe that he attempted to attend that virtual hearing and was not able to get through the to the virtual hearing. So, I have information that indicates that. I don't know that it's true. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I have seen some things that lead me to believe that, and if that's the case, he will want to address that with the court as quickly as possible, because in his absence, yet again, they ruled against him entirely, including fully terminating his parental rights for all 3 children and issuing a felony warrant for his arrest. So, that being said, he will want to rectify that as quickly as possible and get that hearing, get that order vacated and get the hearing rescheduled. Who knows? But that is a messed up situation still. I'm still curious if he's going to actually appeal. And gosh, I feel like there's a hair touching my ear. Speaking of things I need, a haircut is high on the list. I think I'm going to go short again. The warrant might be fake news. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I need to catch up on it, but I know about the hearing stuff, and it's messy. He thought he was using a computer, but it was just a bagel. That's a rookie mistake right there. And you hate to see it. They're like, you cut the bagel in half and open it up, and you wait for the Zoom meeting to appear on the inside of the top half. And you're like, what the hell? Where is it? I mean, it's like 10 minutes after. Why haven't they this is a bagel. Oh my God, it's a bagel. Where's my laptop? Yeah, you can't do that. Very, very dangerous. Okay, so Ken says, small correction on that. It was in person, but he got a Zoom link 6 minutes before the trial and no prior notice of any Zoom access. The link was addressed to him. Did someone forge that? Eldon Bainling, no. EVS is not coming on the show. No, we might talk a little bit about his lawsuit. If I ever get to talking about this lawsuit. It was from the bailiff. Yeah, I mean, it was from the bailiff, but for example, I get emails from Levi's, right? But they have this by way of thing, and it's from like some scammer in the Czech Republic. So it's not actually an email from Levi's offering. Like, Levi's does not want to sponsor the Ricada Law Show. I don't know if that's just a general rule that they don't want to do that. And if they did, I would make fun of their gay commercials. But they send this thing, and it looks like it comes from Levi's until you expand it out and see that it comes by way of some other foreign email address. So anyway, let's talk about this. Here we go. And Andrew War Snowboard says, don't listen to that earlier guy. If you break Clay, you'll just be left with the rest of us mods. Clay hasn't been on here in a while. It makes me sad. because he's so short. Who'd remind the chat to drink for every super chat? What would we do with all the extra PBR? Yeah. Clay is like the most hipster looking non-hipster I've ever seen. Okay, so here we go. Here's the motion for the extension of time for Melinda Scott. Well, actually, for now comes defendant Joshua Moon. I'm going to come. I'm going to come. By counsel, and submits this motion for an extension of time pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 54D. Spoiler alert, he gets his extension of time. That happened today, just recently. In support of this motion, Mr. Moon states as follows. The court entered judgment in favor of defendants on August 30th, 2021. Now, typically, you have 14 days to file a motion for fees after a final judgment. So, which I think it covers in here. Let's see. In an order entered the same day, the court noted that the plaintiff has engaged in repetitive meritless filings directed at Mr. Moon and spanning 3 cases in this court, 2 of which the plaintiff previously appealed unsuccessfully to the Fourth Circuit and to the U.S. Supreme Court. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 54D entitles Moon to file a motion seeking his costs and attorney's fees if such motion is filed within 14 days of judgment. The rule expressly contemplates that a court order can provide otherwise or set alternate deadlines. This court's local civil rule 11C3 similarly contemplates that the court can act on motions for an extension of time. Mr. Moon's motion for an award of costs and attorney's fees would ordinarily be due by September 13th, 2021. In this motion, Moon asks that the deadline be extended until October 13th, 2021. Good cause exists for an extension. To wit, by the way, I like this guy, Hardin, Josh's attorney. I like him. Seems like, I mean, obviously he won. All of his filings have been crisp and competent, and you can't ask for much more than that. He's done a very good job, and he continues to do a good job. He has a great writing style. As Mr. Moon has noted in various filings, there's reason to believe that this litigation has been conducted in bad faith and that the plaintiff has acted in violation of Federal Rules Civil Procedure 11B. The plaintiff has occasionally admitted to questionable, extra-legal, or otherwise improper motives for this litigation and her conduct in it on the website kiwifarms.net, the site that she is suing. Those admissions are contained on various pages of a thread that spans over 1,000 pages, however, and compiling a complete catalog of the plaintiff's statements made at key junctures of this litigation is thus quite time-consuming, and that, you know what that means, Kiwis? Archive that hose posts. Archive them now, Kiwis, because if she has some dumb sense to her, this would be a bad choice. She should not do this. But when has she ever done anything smart? She may attempt to delete, edit, or otherwise, obscure the things that she has done and said on the posts. So Spectre says, I can confirm the posts are already archived. Well, good. Now someone just needs to compile them. So here we go. Others of her statements have been made directly to undersigned counsel, but must be properly authenticated and submitted in an admissible form to be considered in a motion for costs and or fees. So she has made similar statements to Hardin, which is dumb. Very dumb to do. Never tell the opposing attorney that you're suing them for the lulls or whatever. That's not a good plan. It's not a good plan. All right. The plaintiff has now served upon undersigned counsel a notice of appeal which indicates that it is her intention to continue to escalate Mr. Moon's costs by persisting in her pattern of repetitive and meritless litigation against Mr. Moon in another court. See Exhibit A. In light of the plaintiff's continued behavior, already well documented in several filings in this case, it is only fair to Defendant Moon to allow him to develop and present to this court his best evidence relating to the plaintiff's pattern of litigation and to preserve such evidence in the record to be considered on appeal. As discussed in previous filings, Mr. Moon is a resident in the European Union. Communication with him has been made more difficult than it would be with a local client due to the time differences and the inability to have in-person meetings. As such, undersigned counsel has not yet been able to discuss with Mr. Moon the full import of the court's judgment or Rule 54D. Additionally, it is undersigned counsel's understanding Mr. Moon is currently on vacation, such that those conversations cannot take place until he returned. Respectfully submitted this 8th day, yesterday, of September 2021. So there you go. That is from Matthew Harden. And again, spoiler alert, the judge did go ahead and grant them, as is proper. Let's pull up the next document. Where are we? Oh, did I do this dumb? I did this dumb. I didn't open the document in a new page. My mistake, a rookie error, costs me 50 cents every time I do this. Bam, 50 cents. Because I clicked. Let's check the order. The docket report is 50 cents. Not even that's not even counting the document. This document costs 10 cents. How am I gonna survive this show? Order granting motion for an extension of time. This matter comes before the court on defendant Joshua Moon's motion for an extension of time. For good cause shown, the court hereby grants the motion. Defendant Moon shall file any motion pursuant to Rule 54 on or before October 13th. Plaintiff shall respond to the motion within 14 days of the date of filing. This should concern Melinda Scott. The judge ruled on this in a day. I mean, not that it's a complicated issue, but it just, in one day, ruled on it. Didn't wait for the other side to file an opposition. Didn't really care if they opposed it at all. I think the judge wants to hear what's going on. All right, now we've got another motion that was filed today after they got the extension. This is a motion for an appeal bond. Now, an appeal bond is where you say, okay, if you want to appeal this ruling, you got to pony up some cash. You got to put some money into the court system to make sure that you don't burn all of your money in litigation, then say, oh, I'm indignant, I can't, or indigent. Not indignant, indigent, and can't pay, the fees. If you want to drive up the costs on the other party, you're gonna have to put up a bond, and that's what's going on here. So now comes, I'm gonna come. Defendant Joshua Moon by counsel and submits this motion to require the plaintiff to post an appeal bond pursuant to Federal Rules of Appellate Procedure 24A3A. In support of this motion, Defendant Moon states as follows. This court permitted the plaintiff to proceed in form of pauperis by order entered July 13th, 2020. The court previously permitted the plaintiff to proceed in form of pauperis in 2 cases against the same defendant, both of which were dismissed for failure to state a claim. And then it's got the Scott v. Moon case, the Scott v. Carlson case. In this case, the court has noted Ms. Scott's pattern of repetitive meritless filings and dismissed claims against Mr. Moon again. The court also expressly noted the numerous similarities between the claims Ms. Scott is raising in this litigation and the claims she raised unsuccessfully in her previous litigation in the same court against the same defendant relating to the same subject. Mr. Moon has pointed out in various of his filings that this claim is but the most recent episode in a years-long crusade of litigation which the plaintiff has brought against Mr. Moon, and that she has conducted this litigation in a manner that seems calculated to increase costs for Mr. Moon and burdens for the judiciary. Mr. Moon has received an extension of time to file the motion pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 54D to recover his costs and fees in this court. However, the plaintiff has both written to undersigned counsel and posted online to indicate that she is judgment-proof. Mr. Moon thus expects that even if this court ultimately awards him a judgment for his costs and fees, he will face an uphill battle to collect from the plaintiff. Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 7 empowers this court to set a civil appeal bond to ensure Mr. Moon is made whole for his costs on appeal. And if you can't pay the appeal bond, you don't get to appeal. Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 24A3 states that a litigant who is permitted to proceed in form of pauperis in the trial court is ordinarily entitled to appeal without filing an appeal bond, with one notable exception. If, quote, the district court, before or after the notice of appeal is filed, certifies that the appeal is not taken in good faith or finds that the party is not otherwise entitled to proceed in form of pauperis and states in writing its reasons for the certification or finding, then an appeal bond may be required. Given the pattern of Ms. Scott's litigation against Mr. Moon and others to date, including 2 appeals to the Fourth Circuit and the U.S. Supreme Court that have already been resolved in Mr. Moon's favor, it is hard to comprehend what good faith basis there could possibly be for Ms. Scott to file yet another appeal in this case. Instead, it seems much more likely that her decision to appeal again is yet another repetitive meritless filing in a string of repetitive meritless filings which serve no purpose other than to drive up the costs of this litigation and burden the judiciary. Wherefore, Mr. Moon moves that this court set an appeal bond pursuant to Federal Rule of Appellate Procedure 24A3A, or alternatively moves that this court require Ms. Scott to establish the good faith basis for any appeal before making a determination relating to the need for an appeal bond. So he is saying, put up the money if you want to have the appeal. And that is something the court should do. Will the court do it? An appeal bond on an informa pauperis litigant is an extraordinary remedy, I think. And I don't have faith that the court will grant it. They should. They should grant it. Everything Hardin said in this document is correct and true. And Melinda Scott is clearly filing these lawsuits vexatiously and frivolously and meritlessly for the sole purpose of costing Joshua Moon money and wasting people's time and satisfying her own weird, I think maybe, sexual desire to be a pro se litigant. Because I think she and Russell Greer have that same sort of mental issue where they have become addicted. They have become addicted to pro se litigancy. You see it in various people from time to time. You find, like, you're talking to someone, they're like, "Oh yeah, I've sued like 400 people," and you're like, "But you're just you just work at the brake shop. What do you do? Why?" And I always represent myself. I beat like 12 companies. Oh, okay, sure, got it, right? We saw this with Chess is My Wealth. The same thing. Ray Gordon. You know, these are the types of people. They get addicted to this lawsuit life and culture, in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'd be the worst. Yeah, find a bridge. I don't know. I'm not diagnosing them. It's just my opinion that people become addicted to this. And you see it because it's a modicum of power that they're able to hold over people that they disagree with. When do I start drinking? I started drinking earlier. Should I continue drinking? I'm almost out of this Evan Williams. All right. Typically, though, I take a shot at 1,000 likes. Thank you for asking. I don't think we're there yet. Nope, we're not there yet. That's up to the chat. I mean, if you don't like the show, don't like it. But I hope you do. So that is the update in this case. Will they get the appeal bond? I don't know. I have no idea. I think it's considered a harsh remedy. You have a right to appeal in the US. You know, you don't in the UK. You got to get permission to appeal. But here you have a right to appeal, and an appeal bond could be seen as an infringement on that right. And so whether or not the court would be willing to do that, the court seems kind of tired of her shit. I mean, in that judge's opinion, it was, he's sitting there saying, I'm going to dismiss this with prejudice because of how bad this is. So who knows? What is my hair doing? Oh my gosh. Can I get a haircut? Can I get 10 minutes? Well, it takes like an hour to get a haircut. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see on that one. It'll be a very, very interesting case to to follow. I thought it was over. And then like Stallone, right? Nothing's over. That's how Melinda Scott sounds. She called in the one time. That's how she sounds. Exactly like that. That was an accurate impersonation. What do we got next? What do we got next? Oh yeah, something, and now for something completely different. What is that? Huh. Okay, let's see. Sorry. People send me stuff. Time for a feel-good story. We've got a feel-good story and then another feel-good story. As a warning, this is a feel-good story. Fucking hell. Nobody is safe. Kentucky man charged with raping and assaulting 8-year-old girl won't stand trial. What's going on here? Did my camera get moved? I think my kid moved my camera. Or maybe I need to move. I don't know. This is a problem in Kentucky very specifically. This is not an isolated incident. This is a weird artifact of how Kentucky law on competence to stand trial works. And it's really, really fucking awful. A Kentucky man accused... You want to know my location? Go away, government. Kentucky man accused of raping an 8-year-old girl and fracturing her head with a shovel after being found mentally incompetent in a separate sex assault case. So this is the second one. Has again been found mentally incompetent. So he sex assaults someone else and then gets found mentally incompetent, released. This is the trick. In Kentucky, being mentally incompetent to stand trial doesn't necessarily mean that you are mentally incompetent enough for forced hospitalization. So he is too incompetent to stand trial, so he's released and not forcefully hospitalized. And so then he does it again. The feel-good story part was a sarcasm. Jefferson Circuit Court Judge Annie O'Connell determined on Thursday that Kane Madden is mentally incompetent to stand trial and unlikely to regain competency in the near future. Quote, you just gave him another pass and it's a revolving door to him, said Yolanda Walker, president of the California Neighborhood Leadership Council. Or maybe this is in California. He's a Kentucky man, but this must be in California, I guess. Madden was charged with first-degree rape, assault. Yeah, no, it's in Kentucky. Why is the California Neighborhood Leadership Council person talking? Weird. What a weird fucking quote for that. Hey, catch you later, Ty. Madden was charged with first-degree rape, assault, and robbery in the 2019 attack on the girl. A Louisville police arrest citation says officers responded to a report of a girl beaten and robbed of her iPad and found her with a fractured skull and injuries indicating sexual assault. Quote, my mind constantly stays on this young lady because her whole life has been taken away, Walker told WLKY. It says Madden was seen nearby and questioned, telling detectives intimate details of the assault. Madden was ruled mentally incompetent months earlier on charges that he sexually assaulted a woman and bit off part of her face in 2017. Just her face, though. Madden has had several cases dismissed due to incompetency and was set free because he didn't meet Kentucky's criteria for involuntary hospitalization. Quote, Mr. Madden has undergone a battery of tests in an attempt to discern both his cognitive and psychological levels of functioning. While the tests may differ and the results may vary by degrees, certain themes repeatedly emerge. This court has no doubt Mr. Madden suffers from intellectual impairment, this week's ruling detailed. The state requires a person to be a danger to self or others to be able to benefit from treatment, and that hospitalization be the least restrictive treatment available. Apparently, just a bunch of rapes and bitings and beatings, that doesn't make him a danger to others. My mind was blown on this. Because normally, if you're incompetent to stand trial, you get the hospitalized part. I mean, he confessed. Like he told the detectives what he did. It's not like there's much. I mean, that doesn't always mean things. People can be coerced into confessions. It doesn't seem like that's the case. Maybe it is. I don't know. Quote, that way you can continue to get help and you won't be released that way. You can hurt yourself or other people, said Senator Morgan McGarvey. Now, if you notice, I have no idea, based on the poor speaking and the poor writing, what is actually being said here. It's just a standalone quote from a Kentucky senator. It says, that way you can continue to get help and you won't be released. That way you can hurt yourself or other people. Like, can, won't, can. Is this supposed to be can't? Don't know. The writing's bad. The quote is bad. This is from the AP. So he's one of two state lawmakers who have filed a bill to change the state law, but it hasn't had a hearing. Okay, so he is trying to make this not happen anymore. I think the ruling Thursday will get the attention of the General Assembly. We should have passed this law before now, McGarvey told WLKY. KY Jelly, lubricating its way into your ears. There would be safeguards in place for defendants who aren't competent to stand trial. That includes appointing a separate lawyer outside the courtroom who has not only their well-being in mind, but the public's as well. I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to work. Like, how are you supposed to have a lawyer that has the defendant's well-being in mind, but also the public's well-being? Like, how is that? That doesn't seem like a proper way to have an ethical obligation to your client if you're obligated similarly to the public. So I don't know how that's going to work. That seems unconstitutional to me. It seems like a big problem. I mean, how about, if you've got this stuff and they're not competent to stand trial, you got to be hospitalized, I guess. The question remains, is there enough time for this bill to see the light of day? Walker says she and others will push lawmakers before it's too late. Does it have to go to death before this law gets passed? She said. Prosecutors said they are petitioning again to have Madden involuntarily hospitalized. That petition scheduled for a private hearing next week. Notice there's no is. Just leaving out words. This is just crappily written. But okay. Or maybe just the picture is from the Associated Press. I don't know. It's from WLKY. And no, it's WLWT5. Who wrote this? Anyway, look, I wanted to bring that story not because, the subject matter is wholly depressing. And that guy probably just deserves a ball peen hammer to his body parts until he dies from pain. But that being said, I just found it a really interesting artifact of Kentucky law. The fact that you can be incompetent to stand trial, but not be for a violent criminal offense, but not be found to be a danger to yourself or others such that you need to be hospitalized. Like, that is beyond me. It's just like, let him go. Let him go. He's gonna rape some kids some more. Like that. It blew my mind. I didn't think that was possible. But hopefully they get that patched up. I don't really like their proposal though. Oh shit. Hold on. Like, their proposal was very concerning. Oh yeah, it definitely represents you, but also everybody else. Okay. This is a completely different kind of feel good article. This is my feel good article. This is how I feel good. This is a New York Times piece from the food section. From the food section of the New York Times. I'm going to read you the title before I can't spoil it by putting the screen up yet. Breaking down the wellness industrial complex, an episode at a time. The Maintenance Phase podcast interrogates the science behind health food trends, fad diets, and popular nutritional advice. All right, guys, are you ready to see who is running the Maintenance Phase podcast? Breaking down traditional notions and popular nutritional advice. Whoa! Oof! She's a major presence on the podcast. Look, we have to talk about these popular nutritional advice. Like, why can't I eat 3 cheese pizzas a night? What is this person doing? Talking at all about the interrelation of health, diet, and food? Like, something is wrong here. You don't belong here. I'm in song reference mode tonight. Aubrey Gordon, working from her home office in Portland, where she records episodes of the podcast Maintenance Phase, a show critical of health fads, diet foods, and nutrition and wellness topics. It's just water weight. Aubrey Gordon collects vintage diet books. She is she should try reading them. Like, just do that. She has amassed almost 100 titles, including the 1973 volume Slimming Down, written by Johnny Carson's sidekick Ed McMahon. Slimming Down, which featured chapter titles like The Breadstick Conspiracy and 2 Martinis into Connecticut, is the book that began Miss Gordon's collection. And amassed. They did say amassed. And while the idea of mixology as nutritional strategy might seem absurd to a reader today, Miss Gordon said that so much of the current thinking about what is now known as wellness is just as hilarious and wacky. And if there's ever an expert on health and wellness and diet, I don't know who other than Miss Aubrey Gordon would be that. On the podcast Maintenance Phase, named after the I haven't read this at all. I literally read the headline and saw that picture and I was like, oh, this has got to be talked about. Named after the concept of sustaining post-diet weight loss, something Miss Gordon has never done. Miss Gordon and the journalist Michael Hobbs spent... Oh, oh please. Hobbs, journalist. Oh no, he's a HuffPost? Is he a HuffPo? Oh God. Oh no. I think he's a feeder. Here we go. I'll show him in his natural habitat. These pictures. That's a different big chick. He and this lady's name is Casey something. They're apparently student debt experts. Look at how he sits. Look at everything about him. Oh God. Can't. She's looking at him like he's a breadstick. Hashtag build brunch better. Oh. I can't. What a diminutive pose that is. God, it's awful. Let's see. Do we have others? I can find no evidence that he sits in any other way than this. Oh my God. What else do we have? What other pictures of this guy? That's not him. What is this? Oh God. This man cannot find anybody his size. He's allergic to people who are small. I can't take it. Like, he seems to be in decent shape. He's short, right? That's fine. He seems to be in good shape and healthy and stuff. It's just all the pictures I'm finding of him are these monstrous people. They make him look so tiny. They all seem to be from the same interview with the same group of fat people. It's still killing me. Okay, we gotta move back to this thing. Where did that thing go? Where is it? Here we go. Oh, you'll have to forgive me. He looks exactly like you would expect a HuffPo writer to look, doesn't he? I mean, like it's either that or like a 600-pound pink-haired woman. Like that's the HuffPo's staff. Like he's the acceptable white male to be on staff because he looks like a wood elf. Okay. Ms. Gordon and the journalist Michael Hobbs spend each episode exploring what they call the wellness industrial complex, debunking health fads and nutritional advice. I can't think of anyone who I would want debunking nutritional advice from more than her. While health, weight, and wellness are important issues, much of what Americans understand about them is actually hollow marketing, Mr. Hobbs said. Yeah, the main thing that everybody should know, I'm gonna red pill you on weight. If you eat more calories than you use, you go up in weight. And if you eat less calories than you use, you go down in weight. Maybe not in one day, but over a period of time. It takes consistency of that math formula. Now, there's a whole bunch of other aspects to wellness and health and nutrition, but that basic formula of math will service 99.9% of the population with effectiveness every time, every single time. It's shocking. And the people who swear that they don't eat that much when they're gaining weight, they are eating that much. They're snacking. They're having a coffee, a 500 calorie coffee from Starbucks. Chris Hemsworth, when he was cutting weight for that role where he was on a boat, he was on a 500 calorie a day diet while working out to cut weight. That's one coffee from Starbucks. That's it. That's one. If it's got any bullshit in it, right? Like a little frilly lady coffee. Like all these chicks out there, they have their mandatory coffee and they wonder why they're gaining weight. It's like that's half to a third of the calories that you need for a day in that cup of coffee. And then you're going to have your salad that you're going to douse in Italian dressing, which is just olive oil and vinegar, mixed with a bunch of stuff. That healthy Caesar salad that you ate that's covered in Caesar salad dressing, which is just like mayonnaise or whatever. Like you're just, I know it's not mayonnaise, it's a joke, but it's fat. It's fat and calories when you add all these dressings in. And then they're going to sit down and they're going to, well, they got to grab their power bar or whatever. They're going to eat all of these little extra things. And they're going to sit around and have a bunch of like chips and snacks. Like I'm just grabbing some snacks here and there. This is how people gain weight. They're not actually tracking their calories. They're not. And I know it because that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing too. That's why I gain weight. It's because I'm on the run. I'm grabbing a snack. I grab some fast food. You grab a candy bar at the grocery store because you just did a bunch of, you did a bunch of shopping. It's like, God, I'm going to have the Snickers bar because I'm hungry. It's, if you have a king size candy bar, it's 400 calories. And that math formula is putting in work. If you sit all day at a desk and don't like take the stairs or go for a walk or go for a run, you're not using that many calories. You're just sitting at a desk. So it doesn't take much. Your body doesn't need that much to live. Anyway, quote, most of us have confidence that we understand these wellness issues. Yeah, I do. But we don't realize that we're literally just regurgitating things we saw in a Nike commercial. I have never seen in a Nike commercial the caloric math formula, right? Like I've never seen that. Mr. Hobbs added, and wellness is a perfect encapsulation on that. A lot of the things under wellness are just rebranded or misconstrued data being sent back to us by a company, basically. The interesting thing is, I would trust Nike over this lady 100 times out of 100. Wellness has two definitions, Ms. Gordon said. One is new language being used by weight loss companies that have figured out that dieting is less popular than it used to be. Certainly for you. And the other lives as a very amorphous term that we attach all kinds of things to. Vitamin companies are selling wellness, Ms. Gordon said. Mattress companies are selling wellness. Yes. Yes, they are. Your work now has a wellness program. It's sort of seen as this uncontroversial way to talk about health. No, it's to talk about wellness, which is separate from health, but part of health. Like your wellness is part of your overall health formula, but it is not health. Like you can have wellness in various aspects of your life and be wildly unhealthy. The show is number 1 in the health and fitness category on Apple Podcasts. number one in health and fitness. That should be a violation of The Hague. Top health and fitness podcast on Apple. Right there. Episodes investigating the obesity epidemic and the problematic history of the body mass index led the podcast to its first 1 million downloads on the listening app last month. Since the podcast began, it just hit 1 million downloads? And it began in October 2020? How's this the biggest? Okay. The hosts have examined, that's good, don't get me wrong, but I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. Let's see, is there... No, I don't want the body... The obesity epidemic. That's the one I want. I want to read the description here. Wait, it's the same one. They have the same length for fucking... The BMI is everywhere. But is it scientific or scientific-ish? While many Americans think of the body mass index as an objective measure of health, no, it's just a good indicator. Its history reveals a more complicated story. Yeah, ask any bodybuilder if BMI is accurate for them. No, but most people aren't bodybuilders. Like the BMI of a power lifter is going to be a lot higher than their overall health would indicate, because they can be in very good shape, but they're going to be big and bulky and heavy because of it. This week, Mike and Aubrey tackle the first in a 2-part series about the BMI and the obesity epidemic. Along the way, they visit 18th century Belgium, learn a gross new acronym, and dissect Dracula's facial features. So there you go. That's their show. God, don't you want to know what they say about the obesity epidemic? Let's see. Since the podcast began in October 2020, the hosts have examined popular diet foods like Snackwell's cookies. Wait, Snackwell's cookies are not a popular diet food. It's a cookie. What are we... Do people eat cookies thinking they're going to lose weight? Is it because it's called Snackwell that people think that they're going to get skinny eating a fucking cookie? I used to eat Snackwells all the time because they were good. I don't know if they're good now, but like in junior high, you little pack of Snackwells in your lunchbox or whatever. Moon juice and Halo Top ice cream. I've seen Halo Top ice cream. It's like only X grams of fat, million calories or whatever. Which is the 2010s answer to Snackwells, Miss Gordon said on that episode. If you're dumb enough to think that you're eating cookies and ice cream to lose weight, my God, you deserve to be a boat anchor. How do these people exist? They've done deep dives into anti-fat bias. I bet they have. Eating disorders and the roles both Dr. Mehmet Oz and Oprah Winfrey have played in the weight loss industry. They have also investigated popular diets such as keto They should try the diets. That's what they should do. They should try them instead of investigating them. It'd be a much more popular podcast. Weight Watchers, celery juice, and the Master Cleanse. You're basically drinking very tart, very spicy sugar water, Ms. Gordon said. Which I think, isn't that what... I imagine she enjoyed that. One episode even explored how the quest for good health can lead people to QAnon and other conspiracy theories. And now we know why this is being promoted. Remember that article where what was it? Women were dating men and then they would get fit and then get red pilled. The women were all like mad because all the guys, they got fit and then they got funny and charismatic and stopped taking shit from people. That's what happened. It was a miracle. It's like, oh, liquid confidence. It was making them all right wing. They suddenly wanted traditional values. They wanted like monogamy and a pretty wife who wore dresses. And they're like, how can we deal with this? It's not fair. Once my boyfriend started lifting, he realized that I was a hideous cow. Oh, God. So, yes, if you dare diet, you will turn into an alt-right conspiracy theorist. Don't get skinny. In the show's introductory episode, the hosts talk about how few health-focused products are skeptical of wellness. For Ms. Gordon, 3,700 pounds, her skepticism grew out of her personal experience of 20 plus years of straight dieting and mostly staying the same size. Look, honey, maybe you should have tried a gay diet. I don't know. If the straight dieting wasn't working for you. If it wasn't working for you, you weren't doing it. You weren't doing it. Being a fat lady and trying to do all the things that fat ladies are supposed to do took me right there. Ms. Gordon said, I've been doing all the things and it's not really produced. How do people ever get skinny? All I ever hear is that fat ladies can never get skinny. I mean, I've met fat ladies that have become skinny by just like work. They work hard. But every time you see a fatso talking about this, it's always, well, I did everything. I tried all of it. Did you? That's like me saying I tried lifting. I tried lifting. It just didn't work for me. That's why my arms are so flimsy. God, I don't know. You know, lifting works for everybody else, just not for me. My body's special, I guess. Good God. I've been doing all the things, and it's not really producing the results that I've been promised for, you know, the majority of my life. And I'm also... How many bags of chips did you eat? And I'm also seeing other people who have been in search of that promise for the majority of their lives also not getting what they thought was going to happen. They're not doing the work. You got to do the work. You got to put in the work. I bet this chick eats every meal. I bet she eats at every meal. Like, hungry or that's not the funny joke that it could be. I mean this seriously. I met fat people like this. They go, oh, it's lunchtime. I got to eat. Why? Well, it's lunch. You got to eat lunch. Dude, you don't have to eat for days. Like you could take a month off. You'll be fine. Just drink some water or whatever. No, it's lunchtime. What'd you have for breakfast? Well, 3 pancakes, 6 eggs, 12 strips of bacon, and a waffle. How long ago is that? An hour. But it's lunchtime. I got to eat. And then at dinner time, they have to eat. Well, yeah, and it's dinner. You got to have the big meal then. Like, oh my God, the big... No, there are too many... You don't have to eat. It's amazing. But I bet she eats at every meal. Maybe her parents made her, right? Like, it's lunch, you have to eat. Well, I'm not hungry. Eat. That kind of trauma can stick with people. And I don't mean that in the joking way. I mean a lot in the joke way. Definitely want to make fun of this weird lady. But But I don't mean that, because the sort of meal trauma and stuff like that and pressures around food, like, for example, Lady Rackets, she cleans her plate. Like, she cleans it. It is weird to me because, like, if there's like some sauce left on my plate or whatever, I'm like, okay, throw it in the sink. There's little bits of chicken or something. It's like, I'm not going to scoop those up. They're all crunchy. I don't want to. She will clean her plate. And it's like, because she had to clean her plate as a kid. It's a thing. That stuff sticks with people. Okay, here we go. At a certain point, you kind of got to go, well, maybe it just doesn't work. Except it does for so many people. This is evil to me. Their failure is being broadcast as the truth and promoted as the truth. So it's just it's in health and fitness. So someone's like, I'm going to a health and fitness podcast because I'm not really happy about how I feel, how I look, whatever. So let's go look into this. And then you're going to have a fat failure telling them that, well, it just doesn't work. Everything you know about nutrition is wrong. None of it works. I know your friend, it worked for them. I know, they were in the gym and you weren't. I know for your mom, your aunt, your niece or whatever, it was just miracle. Everyone it works for, but nobody else. It does work. You don't work. Ugh. This is frustrating to me. I hate setting people up for failure. I hate people setting failure as like, look, you will fail at a lot. You will fail at a lot in your life. Because a lot of what you do depends on somebody else, right? You go apply for a job, you don't get the job, you failed. Okay. You didn't have enough education here. You didn't have the right experience. Whatever it is, you failed at getting the job. That's going to happen. You're relying on someone else. Diets, health, wellness, that failure is you failing and then choosing to quit. Maybe it's not the right diet because you can't stick to it, right? Like it's the wrong, I can't eat this shitty food, right? I can't do a celery and kale diet because I need meat. Okay, go find a keto diet or something with meat in it. Maybe it's not the right thing for you, but it works if you can stick with it and do it because it's math. It's just math. These people don't want to, they think math isn't real. They've always thought that. Bad Vibe says William Sebrell was in charge of the NIH during the Qatar incident. Live polio vaccine injury, was fired, went to work at college as a nutritionist, then became CEO of Weight Watchers. Watch history repeat itself. Oh, no. Cora says, those aren't coffees they order. They're milkshakes, and I'm willing to die on this hill. Yeah, it's a hot milkshake with a shot of espresso in it. And like 7 pounds of vanilla pumpkin syrup, goes into it. It's just sugar. It's just sugar. Comic Nut 64 says, well, as the SOB who lost 120 pounds on keto, no carbs, no sugar, and stair stepper has to be what hell is like. Screw these fat biatches. Work harder, cry more. Yes, it's amazing. Diet and exercise works 100% of the time for people who put in the effort. That includes cutting weight and gaining weight, building muscle mass, leaning out, whatever it is. Diet and exercise works 100% of the time for people who can stick with the diet and exercise. Like Todd Howard said, it just fucking works. For Mr. Hobbs, 39, who has done extensive reporting on obesity. Oh, this just got gross. Watching his mother's struggles led to an interest in weight fixation. I did not know this. I did not know this. He actually is addicted to fat people. He's literally addicted to fat people because of his mom. It was like this defining thing of my childhood that she was always on some completely nuts, unsustainable diet, Mr. Hobbs said. She was always trying so hard, like swimming 5 times a week and eating a bowl of carrots. Was it like a mixing bowl of carrots? Is she a horse? The discourse around obesity was always like, well, they're not trying hard enough. And they're not. I know other people that are trying pretty hard and not succeeding. They're succeeding just at eating rather than trying. Stop it. Stop excusing this. It's okay to fail at diets. It's okay to be fat and not be able to complete a diet. But don't blame like physics or whatever. It's you. Again, you're talking to someone who has always been slight and slender, which is not a boast. I've always wanted to have more muscle mass. I was never willing to do the work, right? Failed, there were times in my life when I was in pretty good shape, but I was never bulky. I never had the muscle mass that I wanted because I wasn't willing to put in the work in the gym. It's a shocker how that goes. You go to the gym for a month or whatever and then just stop. Oh, I got busy. That was hard. Weird. Why didn't I ever get muscular? Well, I guess weight training just doesn't work. I tried it a whole bunch of times throughout the years. It just didn't work for me. Fucking hell. The show presents relatively radical ideas about this issue, Mr. Hobbs said, but still tries to avoid alienating listeners. One way the hosts do this is by turning the narrative on themselves, taking on topics and ideas they have personal experience with. At some point, we'll do CBD, Miss Gordon said. I've been a CBD person, and I'll be made uncomfortable by my own research. It feels important to the show and important to me as a person to be like, we're not actually above anyone. We're not smarter than this. We're not better than this. We know you're not smarter or better than other people because look at you. You're talking about fitness and health, and you look like a bowl of pudding crying. We know you're not smarter or better. Oh, God. Ms. Gordon and Mr. Hobbs said they receive lots of positive feedback, but the emails they get from researchers and clinicians are some of the most meaningful. Lisa DeBrule, clinical social worker at the Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, also operates a private practice in Salem, Massachusetts, uses the weight inclusive health at every size approach with her clients. You can't make it up. Gee, why does this truck use the health at any size approach with her clients? I fucking wonder. You're not healthy at any size. You're not healthy at her size. Good God, the delusions of these people, who include people with substance use disorders, eating disorders, mental health issues, and those who've developed problems after weight loss surgeries and chronic dieting. She heard about maintenance phase on social media and became a regular listener. She's not hearing anything she doesn't already know. It's almost like they're peas in the world's biggest fucking pod that could possibly exist. But she said she loves how the show makes these topics more approachable and really fun to listen to. Okay, so I was reading a scientific article the other day about a star that consumed a black hole, and then the black hole consumed the core of the star and annihilated it in a catastrophic explosion. I feel like that's what would happen if these two were in the same room. But she said really. To be able to have these kinds of resources and get information in an entertaining, interesting, but also very factual way is wonderful, said Miss DeBrule, who's in recovery from an eating disorder. Her and Tess Holiday, queens of the eating disorders. You killed it. You won. You recovered. Again, I'm not actually here to make anybody feel bad. If you're fat and happy, be fat and happy. I don't care. If you're skinny and happy, be skinny and happy. It doesn't matter to me. I hope you all live. But if you're fat and unhappy, don't let these fat weirdo failures convince you that you can't be skinnier, because you can. There's proven ways to do it. Oh, hundreds and hundreds of different ways. You just find the one that you can do and do it and do it and do it. And if you need someone to motivate you by calling you fat, sign up to my locals. Tell me about it. Okay. Ms. DeBrule added that the ideas and research on maintenance phase are concepts that many women, people of color, and LGBTQ people have been talking about for more than 20 years. But that it's delightful to see new people discover it. What is this? What? Is this why all of them look terrible too? Is that what's going on in the black community with obesity? Because the black community has an obesity problem. I don't know if she's checked. Caitlin McDonald. The magic of Google. The magic of Google. Let's see. What do we got? Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City. Program Manager, Utah Humanities. Do you think that Caitlin McDonald, a nonprofit administrator in Salt Lake City, is Caitlin G. McDonald, Program Manager, Utah Humanities? I'm gonna bet it is. Have you met Ted? Have you met Ted? It's almost like this has a target audience. Said that when she started listening to the show, it felt like being seen for the first time. Lady, your gravity well bends light towards you. You're seen constantly. I see you from here. It was just sort of a revelation, she said. It was such a relief to be in a space where I was being talked about as a human and not a number or a statistic. To be fair, it's easily a high 3-digit number. Scott Cave, who lives in the Appalachian Mountains region of Virginia with his wife and infant, is a historical... This one, I'm never going to find this person. Scott Cave. This is just a random guy? A historical researcher and stay-at-home father. Appalachian Mountains. There's no way I find Scott Cave. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see how large Scott Cave is. I'm an equal opportunity. I make fun of fat men, too. who lives in the Appalachian Mountain regions of Virginia with his wife and infant, is a historical researcher and stay-at-home father. Oh, maybe if I type in Virginia. There's actually a Scott Hollow Cave in West Virginia. So I can't find Scott Cave the man because I've got Scott Cave the cave. So let's see. Here we go. He started listening to Maintenance Phase after learning about it on Mr. Hobbs's other podcast, You're Wrong About. Oh, well, you know, if you listen to one HuffPo Creators podcast, you probably want to listen to the others. As someone with a doctoral degree in history, Mr. Cave, why aren't they calling him Dr. Cave? Shouldn't he be Dr. Scott Cave? He's got a doctoral degree. Is this him? No, this is Pennsylvania State University grad student. No. Poor guy. I don't want to dox that random guy. All right, anyway. Mr. Cave said he appreciates the way the podcast examines and evaluates primary sources in a way that's fun. Does it? Never. In an episode on the obesity epidemic, the show laid out some of the consequences of weight stigma, including people's delaying medical care for fear of doctors' offices. You sure wasn't because the ambulance couldn't get them there? That resonated for Mr. Cave. Once, after injuring his finger, he went to an urgent care clinic where he said he was told, "We don't think your finger is broken. It might be, but you're very fat. So you should probably deal with that." I'm dead. I'm dying. You're so fat. We can't tell if your finger is broken. Oh my God. Oh. He tried to call 911 and broke 2 other fingers. I can't hit the buttons. Oh my God. You're very fat. You should probably deal with that. As a result, Mr. Cave said he spent years ignoring the symptoms of his autoimmune disease just to avoid another doctor visit. So I left with a big swollen finger and a real blow to my self-regard and my relationship with the medical profession, he said. When they brought it up on the podcast, I realized, oh yes, I didn't complain about my symptoms for a long time because they were wrapped up in the shape of my body in fatness. I don't even have to tell the jokes when they do. Oh. Yes, I remember Denny from Jerry Springer. Oh shit. Ryan H says it's pronounced DeBroil. Stop. Bad Vibe says, wait, Salt Lake City? You mean Liberal Tears City? Yes. The pandemic has only intensified America's decades-long moral panic about fatness. That's because the fat people are dying from it at a higher rate than anyone other than old fat people. We're trying to save them from. We're like, no, you need to be worried because you are fat and fat people seem to die. Please don't get it. Please lose weight. Don't die from COVID because you're fat. Don't die from COVID for Oreos. Reject the Oreos. But it has also intensified a counter-narrative. She has noticed more conversations centered on body positivity and more health professionals spreading the message that it's actually okay if you gain weight while you're surviving a pandemic. It's all Again, this is limited advice for a limited audience. It's only okay to gain weight while you're surviving a pandemic if you don't become giantly fucking fat, because you'll die from the virus if you're fat and get it. That's the more likely outcome than not being fat. It's been a really fascinating moment of everyone sort of processing their own body image. Listen to how these people talk. So fictitious. It's so lame. I hate it. Processing their own image stuff and their own weird beliefs about fatness and health in this very public way. They all talk like this. Every HuffPost reader talks exactly like this. They speak like this in public. They speak like, they write like this, they text like this. Everything they say sounds like that jarbled mess of a sentence. It's been a really fascinating moment of everyone sort of processing their own body image stuff and their own weird beliefs about fatness and health in a very public way. Too many adverbs. Just messy. Just messy. Okay, Tina says, stop reading the article, Nick. It's a literal hit piece. They're trying to kill you with laughter. It's over now. It's over now. I'm sure they have many other good ones here. Yes, many of us are stress eating and gaining weight in the pandemic. Forget about a gym. These people pay thousands for personalized workouts. Yeah? Good. Worshipping the false idols of wellness. Okay. I can't look at this article anymore. That I didn't read it, and that article paid way more dividends than I thought I was going to get. I did not. I thought it would be chuckle worthy. I didn't realize what I was in for. Okay. What else do I have? Oh! Did you guys hear about the TikTok lady who was kicked off of an airline over her outfit? Alaska Airlines harassed and removed her from the flight over her outfit. You guys hear about this? Your hair. Oh, God. Okay. Woo! Raylan Howard said on TikTok she'd been kicked off an Alaska Airlines flight over her outfit. Look at this picture. She said flight attendants had asked her to change shirts and that she'd complied. Howard said staff members approached her 3 times about her outfit. A woman said she was harassed and kicked off Alaska Airlines flight over her outfit. Raylan Howard, a musician known as Fat Trophy Wife, made the claim in a TikTok video over the weekend that's garnered more than 1.3 million views. Okay. Are you serious? Look at this. Look at these weird simps. Oh. Oh. You want to hear the music? She's a musician, remember. Here you go. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, God, stop. I can only play a couple seconds because she's a quote-unquote musician, but guess how much music she makes.
clothes, oh goddamn. They say I get groupies at my shows, oh god.
Just taking Lizzo's fucking music, right? Lizzo's disgusting. Look at... Here's what she was wearing on the plane. Right here.
This is what I was wearing when I was told that my outfit is inappropriate.
I was escorted off the plane by police tonight. How's your night going?
Ugh. Look at... Did you see that chin? Oh my god, how do you go back?
I was escorted off the
Look at...
plane by police tonight.
Hold on, I'll try
How's
and
your
capture it.
night going?
Look at all that. Oh my god. Look at all that beef. Ew. Ew. Okay. In the video's caption, she said an Alaska Airlines flight attendant had harassed and called the airport police on her for wearing an inappropriate outfit. I have a feeling that there was more to it than that. That mask is struggling. Footage showed Howard being escorted off the plane before sitting down with authorities to recount the events. I was harassed about my outfit. Howard could be heard telling police officers in the video. She said that staff members approached her because she wore a gray top that showed her stomach and that she put on another shirt when the staff member asked. And then they approached me. Does any shirt you wear not show your stomach? And then they approached me again saying, I can't wear this. My stomach is showing and it's inappropriate. It was disgusting. Howard said the staff members had approached her 3 times and that on the 3rd time she told them, if you're going to kick me off, then kick me off. I've done what you asked me to do. So then they kicked her off. Good. Police officer could be heard telling Howard that she wasn't in any criminal trouble, but pointing to Alaska Airlines dress code. Alaska Airlines website describes its dress code as casual. The requirement is simply a neat and well-groomed appearance. It says clothing that is soiled or tattered and bare feet are never acceptable. You are expected to use good judgment, but customer service agents will have the final authority to refuse travel for inappropriate attire or appearance. She would never be on a plane that I was involved in, ever. I would kick her off. I don't care if she's wearing a burqa. I'd kick her off for that too. That burqa's too big. Get off. All right. We hit 1,000 likes, so I'm going to finish off this Evan Williams. Okay. Show what she was wearing on the flight. In a 3rd TikTok video, she said Alaska Airlines had contacted her about the flight, refunded her for the 3 seats she'd purchased. I don't think that's as funny as I think it is, but in my mind, I will never research the answer. I will never research the answer to that. It will forever just be true. Forever. And offered a discount code for a future purchase. In a statement to Insider, a representative for Alaska Airlines said, we're in contact with the guest. We're committed to finding out what happened and taking the appropriate actions. It's our goal to provide caring service to all of our guests. When we don't live up to that goal, we do everything we can to make it right. You made it right the first time. Howard did not immediately respond to Insider's request for comment. Last month, another woman said on TikTok that an Alaska Airlines flight attendant had shamed her for her outfit. Are we noticing a trend here? What's this one? I've never felt more degraded. Sierra Stedman said in a video.
You may not like it, but you better learn how, 'cause it's your turn now.
Fucking hell. She's not even talking because of stupid music. Slut shames you in front of the whole plane, threatens to kick you off for what you're wearing. What were you wearing? This chick doesn't look big. Well, oh no, that's the other girl. Okay, so it's not a big girl thing. No, because she's little. Well, now I'm going to protest Alaska Airlines. Oh, God! Yeah, I'm immediately on the thin girl's side. It's amazing. It works. Damn it. Let's see. Oh, it was right here. I didn't have to go anywhere. What were you wearing? Okay, Alaska Airlines is opposed to stomachs, apparently. So she's wearing a sports bra, right? And shorts, which I don't have a problem with. I think maybe it's being over. Maybe they're like, just zip up your fucking thing. Try that. Just zip up your jacket. But, you know, she was slut shamed, right? Because everything's dramatic now. Someone doesn't talk to you about your outfit, they slut shame you. It's like, well, I don't think the flight attendant for Alaska Air went up to this girl and said, "You dirty, filthy fucking slut. Why don't you zip up your little slut whore body and cover yourself up, you fucking disgusting Jezebel." Like, I'm pretty sure that's not what happened. I bet she came up and said, "Hey, you know, we have a dress code here, and like you're just wearing a bra." I mean, I know it's a sports bra, and that's something that, like, in some places people wear, but you know that is still just a bra. It's not a shirt, and we kind of require a shirt. Like, I'm guessing that's what actually happened. Later in the month, a woman on a Spirit Airlines flight was accused of lighting a cigarette and blowing smoke at a person with asthma. What does this have to do with the rest of the story? Another woman on TikTok. This should just be every fucking headline today, by the way. Every headline on earth should just be another woman on TikTok. Because that's all it is. This is everything. Just another woman on TikTok. Recently said American Airlines had lost track of her 2 cats on a flight from Los Angeles to New York City. But it's all, this is going to be every story pretty soon. Like, you're going to have politics, and then you're going to have another woman on TikTok, and then you're going to have another woman on TikTok talking about politics. That's going to be the 3 news categories in the very near future. Got to zoom and enhance on this picture over here. Okay. They didn't say she lost her cats. They said they lost track of her cats. Because cats go in the luggage compartment, and sometimes they lose track of luggage too, which sucks, by the way. Not apologizing for an airline. Never catch me simping for an airline. I guarantee you, if you go to the picture of the jaw dropping, or the article with the jaw dropping moments on camera in airplanes with the giant chested chick, that picture doesn't exist in the article. And it's just 38 pictures on individual pages with 75 ads per page, and you have to click, and loading up each page takes 12 minutes. Because that's what all those listicle ads are. Okay, was there anything else? Is there no one else? I think I talked about Tripwire, right? I haven't really talked about China banning kids from playing video games. You guys probably know that story by now. Just during the week, though. I mean, they get 3 hours of video game playing on the weekend, 3 hours total. But during the week, no video games. I mean, just during the week, though. Eldon Bainling, I think this week is going to be probably a no Twitch week. No, I'm not doing the Spectre thing tonight. We're already at 1 a.m. We got one more thing to talk about. People have asked me this question a lot, and the answer for now is still no. Wait, Kotaku defended the Chi-Coms on that? Is it this article? I can't. Chinese kids have their online gaming time slashed by new government rules. By the way, they were already restricted. This is just more of a restriction. Those under 18 will only be able to play for 1 hour on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A new rule being introduced by the National Press and Publication Administration. China's online watchdog is looking to curb what the government feels is a growing gaming addiction among young people. The rule drastically cuts back on the time those under the age of 18 are allowed to play online video games over the weekend, with a 1 hour limit to be imposed from Friday to Sunday, which also includes public holidays. That would mean that most of the year, kids would be allowed a maximum of 3 hours of online gaming per week. As the South China Morning Post reports, the rule was first published in state media outlet Xinhua, where the government spokesperson said many parents have said that the gaming addiction problem among teens and children has gravely affected their ability to learn and study as well as their physical and mental health, even causing a series of societal problems. Enforcement of this rule is going to be left to China's gaming companies, like Tencent and NetEase, who are being asked to strictly implement registration and login systems that require the use of a player's real name. Oh no! Is WWE Champions a Tencent or NetEase property? Can someone find out if WWE Champions is China owned? We wouldn't want TSP to have to admit to playing it. Tencent, for its part, has already said that it supports the new regulation and will implement the new requirements as soon as possible. This latest move comes after. I don't see any defense on this one. I don't know where the defense is. Okay, anyway, this is a different one. People have asked me, can you use COVID as a self-defense to shoot someone? The answer in this case is no. This case is no. Security guard who shot man 3 times acted in self-defense because the victim wasn't wearing a COVID mask, lawyer says. A liquor store security guard was acting in self-defense when he shot a customer 3 times because the customer was putting others' lives at risk by not wearing a mask. The guard's private defense attorney said during a bond court hearing Wednesday, the argument did not sway Cook County Judge Mary Marubio. The victim fled the store, fell outside, followed by the defendant who, according to the surveillance video, shot a second time. The defendant then paces back and forth and shot a 3rd time. Kind of doesn't seem like self-defense. If you shoot someone and they run away and then you follow them and shoot them more, lots of judges, especially in Illinois, are probably not going to find that to be self-defense. Oh, you found the actual Kotaku article? Bainling, you are a gem. Oh God. We'll check that out in a second. Before ordering, 42-year-old Chester Holmes held without bail. Holmes, who is barred from possessing a weapon because he is a 4-time convicted felon and registered child sex offender, was working as an armed security guard at the store on the 6,000 block of South Racine when a 28-year-old man walked in without a COVID mask around 9:53 a.m. Monday, according to Assistant State's Attorney Daryl August. Wall. We're going to build it 10 feet higher just in case we get someone tall who needs a gun to the head. Holmes and the victim argued about the mask policy, and the victim eventually left. He then turned around and walked back in. When he did, Holmes met him with a drawn handgun and shot him. Victim fell to the ground outside the store. Holmes, who defense attorney Jonathan Feldman said, has a big heart and is a kind-hearted man. Sounds like it. Sounds like a kind-hearted man with a big heart, doesn't it? Right there, 4-time convicted felon and registered child sex offender who's shooting a guy over a mask. He's just a big heart and is a kind-hearted man. Shot the man again, then paced around and shot him a 3rd time before running away, according to August. The victim, who was shot in the stomach, arm, and leg, was taken to a hospital where surgeons removed part of his intestines. Chicago cops heard the gunfire and responded quickly enough to see Holmes running away. He ditched his gun and security vests along the way and later told arresting officers where they could find them. Holmes also allegedly admitted to shooting the victim. This is obviously going to be a self-defense case, Friedman said after hearing the allegations. He called the circumstances basically a customer who's unruly, who wants to put others' lives at risk by not wearing a COVID mask. I hope he wins. I hope he wins just because of fucking Clown World. This is Holmes, Friedman argued, reacted in self-defense to a man who wasn't wearing a COVID mask. August said Holmes was convicted of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl and sexually abusing a 15-year-old girl in 2003. He has also served 2 prison terms for failing to follow sex offender registration requirements. That's not me, Holmes said, as August detailed the specific acts he was accused of committing against the girl. He's not just accused of committing, he was convicted of committing. It's not me. Not me. It wasn't me. The Shaggy defense is what you're going with a conviction with 2 prison terms for failing to follow the requirements stemming from the conviction? Friedman said Holmes was fully cooperative with police, indicating he had an innocent mindset with nothing to hide, which is why he ran, ditched his gun and security vest until he was caught. Prosecutors charged Holmes with attempted murder, aggravated battery by discharging a firearm, and unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. Holy fuck. Again, I only read about this far in the article the first time I read it. Just shoot him 3 times. Why are we wasting time with these people? Okay. Gotta check this Kotaku article. There's no one size fits all when you're dealing with millions of diverse gamers. Oh, God. Whenever any kind of news about China hits the internet, I brace myself for oversimplifications by English language writers and commentators. This is written by CC Zhang. But in a country with roughly 720 million gamers, roughly twice the U.S. population, the context behind the recent gaming restrictions placed on Chinese youth isn't as straightforward as narratives about sinister big government politics might make it seem. Starting from September 1st, players under 18 years of age are restricted to 1 hour of gaming a day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and public holidays. Totally reasonable for the government to do that. The restrictions imposed on players don't come from a law. It's an industry regulation recently passed by the National Press and Publication Administration. As a parallel example, imagine that you're an American company that wants to dump radioactive waste into a lake. And the EPA said that you can't do that. Yeah, it's a law. Those regulations have the force of law, you dumb bitch. What are you talking about? CC, you fucking idiot. That's still law. And oh yes, let's compare the restriction of video games to 1 hour a day arbitrarily by government to dumping radioactive waste into a lake. Bad Vibe says Fat Mads will now be lovingly known as Coof Magnets. Jesus. Regulations are specific rather than broadly applied to a populace. The NPPA is a government regulatory branch that oversees print, online, and broadcast media more broadly, but has sole purview over digital games. But it's broadly applied to the entire under 18 populace who plays games, which you just said is a lot of people in China. That's not specific. Under the regulations, gaming companies are tasked with preventing minors from accessing their games during certain times and to boot players after they run out of their allotted time. Jingtong Zhu, a publishing manager at a Chinese gaming company, told Kotaku that Chinese games have previously been restricted to 1.5 hours on weekdays and 3 hours on weekends and holidays. So the latest mandate is an extreme tightening of government regulations that have already existed since 2019. This doesn't make them good. Why do these rules exist? Well, it might be tempting to generalize the Chinese government as inherently regulatory. Why would that be tempting? Maybe because they're fucking communists? Who is this? Is she employed by the Chinese government? This isn't her. This chick's attractive, so that's not her. We'll do this. I'll find her quickly now. There we go. Yep. Game devs of Color Expo. Have you met Fat? Congratulations. She got $15,000. And to be a game dev who's going to apologize for the fucking Chinese communist government doing this to kids. We're gonna just start doing this. I'm not gonna take the word of any article written by a fatso ever again. I just won't take it seriously. Sorry, if you're not skinny and pretty, I don't want to hear what you have to say. I'm done with it. It's important to consider that the gaming landscape in China is very different than in North America and Europe. Daniel Ahmad of Nico Partners told Kotaku that around 92 to 95% of the games made in China are based on a free-to-play model. So while most Kotaku readers might think of first-party titles or self-contained indie games as what video games are, most Chinese players will probably think of a free multiplayer online battle arena MOBA game like Honor of Kings or a gacha game like Genshin Impact. What can you even do in an hour on a gacha game? Like, I played Raid Shadow Legends for 2 hours. I got fucking nowhere. There's no... an hour? Those games are time sinks. This means that gaming addiction and delinquent spending, two qualities associated with these types of games, are a much more prevalent concern in China compared to the West. No, they're not. Have you ever met a woman with Facebook games? But regulators are also part of why Chinese gaming turned out very differently compared to gaming in other countries. For example, Zhu mentioned that China's 15-year-old console ban was also motivated by concerns about video game addiction, a ban that arguably led to the popularity of free-to-play games. You think that government created a problem that they're now trying to fix? China's lucrative $360 million esports industry poses another complication to a clear-cut anti-gaming narrative. According to Zhu, regional governments like the city of Shanghai are very supportive of both the esports and game development industries. For a company like MiHoYo, which ranked 88th amongst all Shanghainese companies in terms of income, its tax contribution is an important part of the local economy. At the national level, the Ministry of Education, fuck China, started categorizing esports management as an official major in 2016. So it's pretty ridiculous to make broad statements about how Chinese government, what level, which brands. The national level that just restricted all under 18-year-olds in the nation to 3 hours of video games a week. That level. The national level. The national fucking government level. That one. That's the one we're talking about. The one that covers all of China and everyone under 18. Just that one, though. Is necessarily anti-gaming. It's not about being anti-gaming. It's just about being communist shitheads. Notice she's trying to shift the issue here. Oh, they're anti-gaming. No, it's not about being anti-gaming. If they said you could only do 1 hour of laundry a week, it would be ridiculous. If they said you could only watch 3 hours of TV a week or 3 hours of book reading a week because books are addictive and people are buying all these books, that would be ridiculous. We would oppose all of this. It's about control. Shanghai has even been welcoming to foreign offices such as Ubisoft and Activision. So it's weird to see a lot of takes that portray China as an anti-gaming country, strawman. This is the biggest esports market in the world, in the country with the most gamers. There's not a single Chinese interest when it comes to gaming, and the country's president isn't the one calling all the shots. Oh, honey. Consider also that not all Chinese minors are affected equally. One might imagine players' experiences are heavily influenced by factors such as gender and class. New York Times states that parents were largely the driving force behind the new gaming restrictions, but it leaves off some important data from the report that it cites. According to the report from the Beijing Youth Legal Aid and Research Center, over 90% of minors with gaming addiction problem are boys. It's a problem because they're boys. That's the reality. China's no different on the woke scale here. And roughly, also, there's more boys in China than girls. Because remember, they had a one-child policy which led to the mutilation and death of countless Chinese girls. So there's actually more boys in China than girls. Because the government made people kill girls. So, and roughly 70% come from blue-collar families. You're in a communist country. Something like 90% of the population is blue-collar. I mean, in China, blue-collar is poor, but you get my drift. The working class in a communist country is just fucking everyone who isn't the aristocracy. If nearly 2/3 of parents reporting a gaming addiction issue are laborers, then it reframes the narrative of the restrictions as an initiative that is mostly relevant to working families. The report noted that children often receive mobile games when their parents can't afford professional childcare. Okay. How is that a problem? Like, I mean, I get it. You would ideally want something, but if they can't afford childcare and if they can get a fucking mobile game that will allow the parent to continue working while the kid is occupied, that's not the worst thing on earth. Even after the gaming restrictions went into effect, I don't think they'll resolve the factors that caused aggrieved parents to demand stricter regulations to begin with. No, of course they won't. That's part of the problem with me, you dumb bitch. While I don't claim that free-to-play games are blameless, the problems that the restrictions are trying to address are partially caused by external socioeconomic factors. Right. That's why bans aren't good, you dummy. They don't fix the problem. Probably even exacerbate it. China already has a gray market for PC and console games. Zhu explained to Kotaku that since Steam is an overseas operation, it isn't held to the same regulatory standards. In fact, Steam had around 30 million Chinese users in 2018. VPNs are another popular way to gain access to video games, but the NPPA's new regulations mostly target mobile games by design. As Zhu noted, most minors are primarily mobile game players and aren't heavy Steam users. Even mobile players aren't completely out of luck. Complying with the new rule isn't technically difficult because it's just a matter of writing new SDKs. Zhu told Kotaku, SDKs are integrated as part of the login process. What happens is that when new players log in, they're asked to enter their ID number, which then verifies their age. Every gamer needs to log in with their real names, and every domestic game that legally operates in China is required to have that function. Kind of like the game that Blizzard stole for Diablo Heroes. That was a Chinese game in China. According to Nico Partners Ahmad, parents aren't barred from giving their unrestricted adult accounts to their children. And there's a large gray market for adult gaming accounts. If an underage player wanted to, they could circumvent the new restrictions, but not every gamer is necessarily tech savvy, and such a far-reaching regulation may have unforeseen consequences again. So where does that leave us? So yes, they can violate the law of the Chinese Communist government, a government that's known for disappearing people who are dissidents. They can violate the law to play their fucking MOBA games. Got it. That's like saying speed limits don't matter because people can break them. Where does that leave us? My sources agreed that the severity of the restrictions are unique, even if the methods of enforcing them aren't. Personally, I've admired how Japan has implemented consumer regulations on gacha spending, but NPPA's new regulations seem too far-reaching. They are. While the economic disruption on the industry is projected to be survivable, the effects on millions of players' lifestyles are much more difficult to predict. Chinese players aren't a monolith and each have their own personal relationship to gaming. Industry doesn't solely define gaming. The players do too. So she kind of walks it back here at the end, but the entire rest of the piece is just a fucking puff piece for the Chinese government. Fucking embarrassing. Okay, let's do super chats. Wrap up the show. It's later than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to go. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going on Twitch tonight. I'm basically just chalking this week up as a Twitch loss. I'm way too tired. Way too much stuff going on. I'm going to go lay down and read more of Luther, the 40K book, Luther, which I read. I went to bed early last night, which is around 11. But I was reading in bed. I probably went to bed around midnight. I probably fell asleep around midnight. But I think. And I read like 100 pages of a book. It was amazing. So I'm going to go and start reading and get through this book. I've been reading this book for like 4 months. I've got to just like actually sit down and read it. And I'll fall asleep. Tomorrow will be a show with Ty Beard, at least, maybe another guest. We'll talk about that as that potentially develops. And then the rest of the day, I'm not sure what's coming. I've got a bunch of short video projects to do. Today was a big day with Biden, where I did a live stream. I love when there's something worth streaming during the day. I love those days. They're great. So that's fantastic. And we'll see what happens. Or I'm not having a drink off. I just drank I have I have about $800 of whiskey left, and it's in 2 bottles. So I'm not doing a drink off with that. That's not happening. I'll have to go to the store and get something more drink off with Ty. No, yeah, I don't want to do a drink off with Ty. I need to go to the store and get some more manageable whiskeys. These are special occasion whiskeys that I have saved up. So, Alex Ghost says, I'll watch this on the replay. Just wanted to say the left love Planned Parenthood because it's how they make Philosopher Stones from Full Metal Alchemist. Also, pee pee poo poo and baba booey. That is all. I didn't do this. Oh, fuck. I had 2 clips from Adam Krigler to show. Here we go. Here's one from Biden in 2020. After he got elected, though.
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory, but I would do everything in my power. Just like I don't think masks have to be made mandatory nationwide. I'll do everything in my power as the President of the United States to encourage people to do the right thing, and when they do it, demonstrate that it matters. No.
There you go. Just Biden saying it doesn't. He wouldn't mandate it, and then of course mandating it. How about this one? This is going back to that discussion I've had with Nate about abortion rights and all that shit. Texas law. You do not have a right to bodily autonomy.
So I want to thank you all for being here today. We are going to have a robust and a candid conversation about what's going on in our country, and in particular what just recently happened in Texas. But I will repeat what I know you all know. The President and I are unequivocal in our support of Roe v. Wade and the constitutionality of Roe v. Wade and the right of women to make decisions for themselves with whomever they choose about their own bodies. And needless to say, the right of women to make decisions about their own bodies is not negotiable. The right of women to make decisions about their own bodies is their decision. It is their body.
Only women who are pregnant and want to kill their unborn baby have bodily autonomy. Fucking fight me on it all you want. You'll be wrong 100% of the time. I'll be right 100% of the time. They're the only people who have a right to bodily autonomy in the Constitution. That's it. Joe Biden mandated vaccines on 100 million Americans today. Presumably, somewhere near half of them are women. And you're going to tell me there's a right to bodily autonomy? Doesn't exist in the vaccine? Question. Doesn't exist if you want to do drugs either. Doesn't exist if you want to take ivermectin. Doesn't exist. It's not real. It never has been. It's a special carve out for a small group of people that are temporarily in a particular status. And that's it. It is not a right. It never should have been a right unless they're going to extend it to everyone, which they, of course, will never do. Because if you have a right to bodily autonomy and privacy, then you and your drug dealer can keep that private, and you can inject all of the heroin into your fucking worthless self that you want. But you can't. You can't do it. And I'm tired of fucking pretending that it's anything else. It isn't. There's one more thing. This thread, I strongly recommend you guys go through this thread. Here we go. I'll show you just a preview of it. It's from Matthew Miller. This is an MSNBC analyst. Complete fucking simp. Here we go. Enjoying the angry dad vibes from this Biden speech. He's turning the damn car around. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. Show some respect. Dads know. Moms too, of course. Here we go. He's calling every anti-vaxxer by their first, middle, and last names. Keep that damn car parked until everyone's buckled up because Dad cares. Ditto. We've officially entered because I said so, damn it, portion of the pandemic. These people don't even realize what they're saying. Love when Joe gets pissed off, he's at his best. This guy, is he finally going to pick up the Americans stranded in Afghanistan on the way? Ooh, he got ratioed. He's not welcome in these parts. Good for him. Go, President Biden. You got this, and we are here for it. They love tyranny. You don't. I assume people don't understand because I am consistently blown away. They love tyranny. They want it. They crave to be dominated by government. They're the opposite of what America was founded on. They're begging for control. Please control me because I can't control myself. As the country's angry dad in chief, he should be taking the keys to the car and grounding the unvaccinated until they act more responsibly. Yes, lock them in their houses, right? No concert and no going to the big game on Friday. Everyone should remember that Biden has no further political office to run for at 77. He's just going to do what's right, period. Pulling over on the side of the road, my children have experienced this. Sat on the side of I-75 on the way to Disney until they shaped up. My kids are 35, 33, and 27. They still remember that episode. Mama, don't mess. In 2 minutes, Fox will claim it's a distraction from Afghanistan. Abbott's office has said as much regarding SB 8. Maybe his new friends in the Taliban can help him convince folks to get the jab. Uh-oh. Love it. And it's about damn time. Way to go, Joe. I agree it's about time. Employers need to tell employees to either get vaxxed or get axed. That's our company's personal choice. Which is it? It's your personal choice if you want a job with us or not. Good. I'm tired of this shit too. Remembering our dad's warnings. Listen to these people. Listen to these people. I'm so here for this. Fire, fire, fire. I love it. I've warned you. I've warned you, but now we're going home. Believe me next time. Oh, he's stopping it on the side of the road and turning around to glare at the kids in the backseat who won't stop fighting and complaining. Lol. I love me a Joe Biden lecture. Proud of my president. I read that with utter disgust and contempt. Utter disgust and contempt for these people. These people don't deserve freedom. They don't deserve rights. They deserve nothing. They don't even deserve, they don't deserve violence either. They deserve nothing. They deserve no regard. They're the NPCs you walk by in Skyrim. They deserve nothing. The Dragon's Treasure says, I'm going to name my gun COVID, so when someone demands mandatory vaccinations or COVID will kill them, I can reply with, you're right. Critical Science Theory says, fool, don't you trust science? Dr. Fauci's funding into our gain-of-function research shall bring us a great reset in science for science. I don't know if that was a proper mad scientist voice, but that's what you get. Crusader says, David, It's so sad Goliath died of ligma. Goliath, but wait, I'm not dead. David says, ligma balls. Hyrule 47 says, in Kermit voice. Just as a public service announcement, friendly reminder, when Joe Biden was running for office, he said he would cure cancer. Thank you. That is all. You may now go back to consuming vast amounts of nuggies. Tradeo says, Russian voice, walking through walking through supermarket with comrade other day. Some weird guy calls cellular phone. Say, I am ginger woman, and to open Bob and Vagine. I say, who are you? He say, I am Bainling. I need Bob and Vagine for living. Why you need for living? There you go. That's Russian talking about Bainling. Michael Palmer says, hey, Nick, I don't know why I'm so stupid, but I thought I would ask your opinion on how I can remove my head from my ass. For some reason, I want to project my stupidity onto others, even if I should not, yet for some reason, I cannot help myself. That's apparently from Michael Palmer. So, weird chat there. Wolfgang Deo says, tee. Scarfy the Strange says, I have to question the health advice of a man whose whole body can serve as a dildo to the woman next to him. Stop it. Bad vibes. Bad Dragonite says, I walk anywhere between 6 to 12 miles a day due to work and burn over 1,000 calories. And the snacking thing even trips me up. Count your calories, people. Yeah, of course it does. You're burning a shitload of calories. It makes you hungry. You have to be careful with it. Crusader says, men will literally go to the gym instead of going to therapy, and women will apparently start a podcast instead of just diet or eat less or go for a jog. You don't want that chick to jog. First of all, it would be hell on the roads. Second of all, her knees would buckle and she would die immediately. Bodybuilders are in different shape. For example, marathon runners. You know what's not in shape? That thing. Bad Dragonite says, Nick, I have an important request. Can you wake me up when September ends? Yes. Crusader says, my good friend has lost just under 50 pounds in 3 months after getting a new job at McDonald's and walking to from work a mile each way every day. I'm proud of him like you can't even imagine. Again, you want to know when I started gaining weight? I was just sitting all the time. I wasn't walking anywhere. I didn't have anywhere to go for a year. So I was sitting. I'm sitting at my computer doing these shows, doing videos. I increased my video production. I was just sitting. That's why I gained weight. It's really simple. Crusader says, as for myself, I haven't really lost weight, but while I'm still chunky, I've been taking advantage of it to get my pull-up reps. I do them every day and have gone from maxing 5 pull-ups to 10 in a month. When I drop 30 to 40 pounds, I'll be able to hit my goal of 20. Yeah, it's amazing, by the way, how quickly you can get yourself up to like 10 pull-ups in a row. You get on the bar and you just keep working on it. And your body teaches itself how to do pull-ups. Get on there and work on it. It's one of the best exercises you can do if you've got space for a pull-up bar. That one guy says, here you go, buddy, $2 just to say that I'm probably going to be jobless and homeless if this Biden mandate goes through. I guess my family will be seeing a lot more of me than they plan to until we can regain some sanity or I can find new work. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Come on. I hope you find something. I hope you land on your feet. Don't land on your fat. Silky Johnson says, Nick, to sound hyperbolic, but when that giant fat chick that tortures her pants twerked on that video, the power generated from the cheeks actually caused my internet to drop for a few. And Jesus, if she sunbathes, the sun is putting in that work, son. Well, yeah, if she sunbathes, the earth actually globally cools. Kool-Aid Man says, oh, yeah. Nick, I hear you want me to be a part of your court appearances. Well, as a picture of distinguished gallantry, I would happily sit next to you. Or I can do a rail and bang the whore. I'd sneak in my picture in the background while she scream, gavel me. No, thank you, Kool-Aid Man. It's okay. I don't need your help. I've got it. I've got it under control. Macca Jr. says that title, can't wait for the replay. Mr. Blue Eyes says, do you think the mandate is payback for the Texas abortion bill? Seems petty. No, I don't think the mandate is payback for the Texas abortion bill. I think that's a separate issue. And they're going to, they filed a lawsuit against Texas. They technically filed a lawsuit against every Texan and maybe every person on the planet. So that's interesting. Funny Valentine 2024 says New World Order 4444 life. Bow chicka bow wow. Jordan Jones says the mandate announcement was made prior to the California recall election. Is the fix already in? Clearly this would fire us up to vote if we weren't already. Oh, by the way, they're already trying to fortify the recall election. I don't know if you've seen it. They've been talking about how the polls are all in Gavin Newsom's favor by double digits. Now, just shockingly, Gavin Newsom got twice as popular in the past 2 weeks. Diamond Duck, yes, I will take EVS and DA talks out of the title, even though I did talk about them at the beginning. Talked about possibly talking about them as a meta talk. But, yeah. The gray one says, hey, Nick, hope the rest of the day had been good. Gonna drink some brandy after that speech from the dear leader now that I'm home. Oh, I do have some brandy upstairs. Automata says, did Ty look for him? That is, did he seek Kyle? Maybe. Vientigas Prime says, my medical identity is control group. Snuggle Struggle says, Australian Public Health Chief. Says, we'll look into contract tracing under the New World Order. Paraphrase, but holy hell, no longer conspiracy. Nope. Ty Beard. Says, so how do you send a super chat thingy? You did it, Ty. Ty did it. I did say he owes me $5 and he bought a $5 super chat, which means he still owes me $1.20. And he probably bought it on his fucking iPad, which means he still owes me $2.60. Wolfgang Deo says the uni win is that I'm still at the college despite opposing everything through argumentation. Prof is either fired or we mutually separated. There you go. Sounds good. RPG or 90 says, I recently got pulled in for jury duty. The questionnaire asked if I watched any law-related shows. Mention you, so hopefully they immediately cut me. Oh, that would be great. That'd be great. Ron Crossman says, check out the Tavor TS12 semi-auto shotgun. It's sick. I'm going to buy an over-under shotgun for trap shooting because I want to shoot traps. Cat Zap, welcome to Paralegal Status. Thank you for joining the channel. Very much appreciated. Simple Sandman says, drinking a glass or 3 of Elijah Craig rye, wondering if I'm going to continue to have a job. Am I right in thinking that both requiring the jab or weekly testing is a violation of the 4th Amendment? Apparently not. Apparently not, because there's a pandemic, you bigot. And if you don't understand that, then you know you don't have any right to privacy in your COVID vaccination status according to the government. So, is it a violation of the 4th Amendment? I don't know if it's a violation of the 4th Amendment particularly. But I think it definitely violates bodily autonomy under the 9th. Your right of privacy, medical privacy under the 9th Amendment. Again, those stem from Roe versus Wade, which is sacrosanct and holy ground that we must respect at all times. It may violate some other stuff. 14th Amendment, equal protection clause, right? They're treating the unvaccinated as if they're lesser people, restricting them from public access, just like they did to blacks under Jim Crow. I don't know what else to say. Zypher Warrior, thanks for the donation. Blaine 20 says, yeah, with prejudice. Melinda will probably sue the judge for anti-Semitism for that. I hope so. Eldon Bainling says, Kimbo Nice said you should stop boomering. Impossible. Ryan H says, bailiff, smack his nuts. Smack his nuts. Eddie Most 1000 says, so what is the size comparison to her water weight? The Pacific Ocean? Jesus, these people are delusional. Selrin says, look up the Belgian health minister. Yeah, she is giant. Eldon Bainling says, want us to fat shame you into eating less? No. because I fat shame myself enough, and I'm about to work a daily gym hour into my schedule in the very near future. Hyrule 47 says basal metabolic rate. Look it up, people. Wolfgang Deo says no matter what I do, I never lose any weight. How much do I weigh? I'm skinny. Snuggle Struggle says these useful idiots to the left are destroying the West. They think they're failing because we aren't going far enough. Literal madness. Amateur Ant says her glasses aren't actually on her head. They're in orbit around her face. Woo! Shinobu Tezuka says they have a target audience, a very wide audience. Joshua Sanabria says she doesn't even need a mask. The folds will protect her. She could travel the world for free as ballast on the Maersk. And he says, well, I'm a Baptist, so if a gal is wearing anything that shows more than an ankle, she's practically a harlot. Wrong. She is a harlot. Vientigus Prime says Florida man plus TikTok woman equals retardo child. 200 Watt Studio says, wish hot stewardesses would say I'm a filthy whore. I haven't seen a hot stewardess in a really long time, if I'm going to be honest. Not on any plane I'm on. Like I know a few attractive women who happen to at least have been flight attendants if they're not now. But I've never or have not recently encountered an attractive flight attendant. Blackwing02 says it's 1 a.m. Do you know where my war mech is? No, seriously, do you? Damn this 1/64th spawn rate. Here's some shekels as a thank you for giving me something to listen to while I achievement grind in Final Fantasy 1 PR. Have fun, man. Super Iron Bob says the Chinese console ban was because until recently they couldn't install a government-required monitoring software. No, it was about addiction, right? Malik Foxon says, get your parents' ID and log in with it. Done. Yep, but requiring people to break the law doesn't justify the law, right? Like, vaccine mandates are bad. Well, you don't have to get the vaccine. You can just lie about it. Well, I mean, yeah, you can break the law or whatever, but that doesn't make the mandate okay. Malik says, rethinking that after you mentioned it, parents probably unwilling to sack their social credit, but that means a bunch of kids going to get the parents fined. Yeah. It's there's no way to look at the Chinese policy as anything other than bad. Based Crocodile says it's us or them. No human rights for leftists ever. Eldon Bainling says, without movie nights, we all die a little every day. Maybe tomorrow I can squeeze in something on Twitch. Maybe. This week has been rough, and I've got a long thing tomorrow evening too. So, I'm so tired. John Wayne drinks SJW's tears. Says Howard Stern is yet the latest pro-authoritarian celebrity to yell out F your freedoms. He has turned into just another talking head for the far left establishment. Sellout, fraud, or both. Sellout, fraud, coward, and bitch. Don't forget coward and bitch are also titles that Howard Stern deserves. He's a man whose entire career is based off of liberty because so many people have wanted him censored for so long, and his entire argument was, no, I have free speech. And now he says, fuck your freedoms. Fuck you, Howard Stern. Fuck him. Jared says civil disobedience, political activism is all we can do at this point. Basically, and we will, see how things go. And I think that is it. Thank you guys for a wonderful show. It is time for me to go fall asleep reading. Hopefully I get more than 2 pages tonight because I am digging this book. It's really good. And I have so many more books to read, so I got to get through this one. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a short video up tomorrow, and then, of course, a live stream at night. If you would be so kind, by the way, I hate asking for this stuff, but on the short videos that you do watch, if you like them, share them on various social media. Share them on Reddit. If you're part of like a Reddit community that is relevant to those things tend to really, really help in ways that you cannot imagine. So, if you are so inclined, please do share. I don't like asking people to do stuff, but it helps those short videos quite a bit. So, We've got Base Crocodile says, Jared is wrong. I can think of something cooler. Okay. Yes, I get it, Base Crocodile. But all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys will have a good night, and I will catch you next time. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we are now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass